Everyone, April recap, 137,000 for the month. It was a tricky month. I mean, you look at the beginning, you can really see I was struggling. I was still making money, but it was choppier, and it was a slower uptrend as things really shifted. They slowed down, they got choppy. I had to really adjust and get kind of used to the way things were feeling. And then I kind of got the hang of it. Things picked up for me. I was able to nail some pretty good wins. And then the last couple weeks in particular, especially BTX, really carried my month. For those last 2 weeks, it just really carried me. So that stock in particular made me quite a bit of money. And it's always nice when something's just very bullish, it's moving how you expect it to move, and just you're good at playing that type of thing. So I was able to nail it and just continuously make good money on it just about every day that it was trading. So also I got over the million this month. So yeah, really significant milestone. Felt real good to finally accomplish that. So that was great. And let's go over some spots. So BTX, obviously the big one, and I've already talked about this quite a bit on some different videos, but I think, so this is obviously something that's a rare kind of scenario. It doesn't happen too often when something gets to $80 a share that was trading at $8, just a week ago. It doesn't happen all too often, but just kept squeezing shorts over and over, and it's a very low float, micro float. So on Friday, I actually played it bad, so I might as well just go over that, go over the most recent kind of screw up. So it was kind of range bound, it had a really nice green day, it pulls back, doesn't hold gains as well as maybe I would have hoped, because that kind of threw off my perspective on it. I didn't think it was going to do this. I have another day 3 surge, when it's so overextended, I thought it might be done, but the key, I guess, is that some key support from this day. It touches it, bounces off it after hours, it touches it pre-market, bounces off it, it touches it in morning open, bounces off it. So it really bounced off a strong horizontal support zone 3 times. And whenever you got that 3, kind of like a multiple touch type thing, and you got a couple different trend changes that you can see, it can create some really crazy rebounds. And if there's there's enough momentum in this, it can just ramp and do some crazy things, which is what we saw. Again, like, this really doesn't happen very often, and so it caught me off guard. So I noticed it had bottomed here at that important area and started to bounce off into this range. And I thought that if I can nail the entry, I'm getting amazing risk reward, because if I enter it here, I'm really just risking like this zone, and if it works, I'm getting potentially this much upside. So, look at the line where my risk is, and then look at how much reward potential there is. So I think it's pretty easy to see that's like a 20 to 30 to 1 risk reward ratio. Yeah, so, and I'm not trying to say I would have held it for all of this upside. Like, in reality, I think I would have pretty gladly locked it up at $35 to $40. That probably would have been my play. $2,500 to $5,000. I really don't think I would have held it longer, although what I will say is that if I nail a play, it makes me more confident and sharp to kind of play continuation setups. And since I messed it up in the morning, I just didn't want to touch it again. So look, that's fine. It happens. I screwed up quite a bit, and that screw up obviously this trade right here. Yeah, I mean, I knew I had to risk that range, and I didn't risk the appropriate range. I was just very jumpy and emotional for some reason on this day. Sometimes your nerves are going to get to you, and you're not going to trade within your system. You're just going to trade bad. You're just going to trade bad and not really make any sense. So the key is this. Obviously, on that first entry, 29.93. Okay, let's just zoom in, get rid of these lines. So when I take a 29.93 entry, the range, the important range, okay, is pretty much this. So I should be risking 29.60. And if I get slippage, I mean, so be it. Like, I've got a trading plan. If you're gonna take the entry, you better stick to your plan. So when I sell it at 29.88, that's on me, right? That's just my fault. It makes no sense. And when you make an illogical sell, well, then you might get involved again, like I did at 30.19. So now I have an even worse entry. And it's because I have a worse entry, and I'm trading on emotion, right? So this time I bought it right here. So on the micro pullback, I literally sold the low of the micro pullback before it exploded. And if I would have just kept my original entry and just stuck to the original range risk, I would have never even had to take that second entry. So it's just completely unnecessary, fueled on pure emotion. Okay, emotion and trading doesn't mix well. It no, not a good mix. You want to stay logical, and I didn't. There's nothing to learn from that, really. I mean, as far as me personally, I don't learn anything from these losing trades anymore, which is really why I don't post them. It just kind of makes me feel crappy when I see them, and I just like my feed to be clean, good trades, so that I can just see what works and feel good when I look at my feed, and that positive energy makes me trade better. So if I've got these, and that's really why I don't post bad trades on my Twitter feed, because it affects me emotionally, and I do not like that. So I want to keep my feed clean so that if I go back, I don't get affected. So there's BTX, big one. Now, I guess I should go into RHE. So RHE started to kind of perk with BTX. I kind of noticed some of the price action was correlated, for sure. And if you look at RHE, it really has the same type of TA as BTX. Has a strong washout back to some support levels from way back, 3 months ago or so. It held those support levels, and then it started to ramp, and it had a really big kind of first green day, pulls back, has a weird consolidation day where that range is just all over the place, really volatile stuff. And on day 3, it was able to kind of retest those levels and break out over it, which correlates with multi-month kind of, breaking out of that downtrending channel to explode again, big former runner, okay? And when the market's hot, you can expect some of that momentum to carry over into other stocks. So that's really what we're seeing here. It's a micro float, 1.5 mil float. BTX is 1.7. So they're kind of correlated, similar sectors. You can see, just how volatile and bullish this was. So this was definitely my biggest winner from Friday. I was able to nail this. So I was looking at this kind of range. This range held nicely. Took this curl. Took 5,000 shares. Was able to get. Where did I buy this? 560s. So kind of as this micro dip held, I was scooping this area. I got really good fills. So I took 10,000 shares at 565, sold it. Man, where did I sell this? Now I can't even remember my own trades, but all you gotta know is that I made a lot of money on the stock, probably 20,000 or so from Friday. So yeah, I'm really interested to see if RAG will continue into next week. What else? MDLY. I guess I'll go over this real quick. So, alright, this is a big former runner. It's capable, I mean, of having really big green days. So it's, again, just that same scenario where it finds a bottom. So it washed out to some support levels from before, bounces off of them. I had kind of known that it had bounced a little bit off those levels, and again, like, it's just flowing in a range. And you gotta understand that on certain days you will be able to feel certain momentum that is unique, that you don't feel every day. And kind of, I just remember I felt a lot of emotion, a lot of flowing energy, and I could just feel it within me, which means other traders feel it, which, you know, it just pushes people to be a bit more aggressive and a bit more gambly, I guess I would say. Causes people to have more FOMO. You know, maybe they miss BTX and they have all that energy, they want to nail something, but they miss BTX. Well, now they're gonna, you know, they're gonna try to take some shots at some different things potentially. So it's just a lot of energy in the market this day, and you know, it doesn't happen this often where you feel that much energy. So the last time I felt it was on this day. So this was on 401. Now let's go take a look. I'm just really curious to see if there's any correlation. Not really. I thought TCAT made like a bigger move on this day, but TCAT had a big move on this day. It was just a hot day on the market. A lot was going on. I don't know, maybe I'm off on that, but pretty much what I was thinking was the last time the market was that hot, MDLY had like a really nice green day. So I decided that I would take a shot at it because on this day, so it has a washout from 570 to the 520s, and it makes this wedge pattern. So it holds a really strong base from 1104 to 1244. The market's on fire. I see it's kind of had a couple perks, and I noticed that there's a really nice support at 525, like 10,000 shares or so. And that's not, you know, obviously, yeah, if somebody sold, they can take that out, but I had enough factors going for me that I thought, hey, I'm gonna scoop 5,000 to 529. It's a pretty nice discount on the long-term chart. It's a pretty nice discount on the daily, because this is a 50% or a 50 cent a share dip. And again, it's a former runner. It's a low float. The market's on fire. If I nail this entry and it doesn't move for a long time, then maybe I just sell into that 525 support. 525 gets taken out. Okay, I'm gonna have to sell it. You know, maybe I take a $500 loss. Could be more, but not often. I get a really nice surge into 555, and at that point I said, okay, I'm going to actually stick to my risk and risk that 525 and just see what happens. So I got patient with it because, you know, the market is exploding, and this one ends up exploding too. And, you know, my profit target was around 730, didn't quite get there. And it kind of came down real hard. I was going to see if it could hold the range and then maybe ramp. But it just didn't feel like that. It felt like it was done to me, and so I sold it kind of, as this bounce was so weak and it just starts to come down again, I sell it at 667. But it's still $7,000 win. So really, really good win. And a lot of people asked how I found this stock. It was just from memory. So I just remembered, hey, MDLY. When the market is hot, this thing can make bounces or breakouts. It's a low float. I'll pull up the ticker. I will take a look and just see, do I see anything good? And I saw all those factors, the level 2 factor, the washout, the multi-month, just the factors felt good to me, so I took it. It's like, I'll take a shot. And taking a shot resulted in me profiting $7,000. Okay, so I don't mind taking a shot sometimes. And at that point, I was up quite a bit on the day. So I decided, I would be even more aggressive and try to take UUU. Because if you look at UUU, look at what happens when this thing gets hot. 8 to 12, that's $4 a share. There's this day where it goes from 5 to 14. That's $9 a share. 8 to 20, that's $12 a share. Even on this day, like 670 to 820. That's still a really solid day. So it kind of fits the pattern where it washes out to a support level on the multi-month. It kind of has been perking off that support and it was in a range. So I thought the market is so hot. If I get lucky and UUU explodes like it's done in the past, I could potentially get a move, a $2, $3, $4 move if I get lucky and hit it. Okay, so what I would say is I had this first explosive surge, which showed, it's a perk. There's some interest. There is a pullback in a range. I was able to scale in at 581, 585, and I could have just kept those entries, I suppose. The thing that I did that was very aggressive is I added 5,000 shares at 6, which made my total position 10,000 shares at 590, which is a bit risky, especially on a stock like this. I knew there was a very good chance that I would end up taking a loss on this, and a fat loss, like $2,000-$3,000 loss. I waited through this pullback. Yeah, it wasn't fun, but I just, I was like, I'm up a lot of money on the day. It kind of, once this move failed and I didn't take action to get out, it was a liquid, and I really didn't have any option to get out. I could have dumped my shares, but I would have probably got filled in the 550s. So I just waited it out and just basically just saw what happened. Some more support and volume started to flow in, and I thought, okay, great, like I survived the scary dip, but it's going to finally recover, it's going to ramp up, and it's going to have like a huge breakout. Just because the factors on this were just so similar, I felt like, to kind of the other hot stocks on the day. And it didn't happen, and I should have just dumped it, but I got stubborn. And so this is a scenario where, I think I was up like 14,000 on the day at this point. And yeah, when you're up that much money, sometimes you just don't care. You get stubborn. And a part of me really, truly did not care. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to wait it out. If I, again, you got to understand what type of upside this can hold. This could make a move to 10, potentially. I'm literally looking at 20, 30, maybe $40,000 of potential upside on this play. Like, that is how much upside it could have. So when you're up 14,000, and you're only risking 2, 3, 4,000, it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. Like, let me just go for it. And that's the thing I think that people don't get with trading is, who cares if you take losses? If you have a good system and you're up a lot of money and you're feeling the market and you're just feeling everything, who cares, man? Like, who cares? You know, that's the one thing that's helping me lately have explosive growth, is I really am just trusting the process, letting these things run. If they, they get explosive, I'm having more patience. But then it makes you kind of look silly when they don't work, right? And it's like, I'm embracing the variance. Right? So I sold 5,000 at 560. I sold 5,000 at 555. Bit of a panic sell, but at the same time, it broke down under the range. And if it really panicked, I mean, I didn't want it to panic dump to like 520s or even $5 potentially. It could have dumped to, I felt like. So, I just felt like I had to get out. I lost $3,500 on this trade. And it ended up recovering, and I could have gotten out easily for a small win or break even. But sometimes things get too sketchy, too scary, to the point where even I'm just not willing, I'm not willing to hold through that. So I took my loss. And I'm alright with it. I do not think this was a bad trade at all. It's easy for people to look at this and think that it's bad, but it's just not. I'm telling you, it's not bad. You can think it's bad if you want, but I'm gonna go ahead and disagree. It's just not bad. There's so much upside potential. And if you think this is bad, well, the exact same trade, right? Like, MDLY was the exact same trade. I was taking in a liquid speculative entry. I took 5,000 shares, right? I got aggressive and I took 10,000 because I wasn't up as much money on the day. But look, the point stands. This is the same play. It's the same illiquid speculative entry. I made $7,000 on this, and everybody says, "Oh, great trade, great trade, great trade." Why? Because they see the end result. People are so results orientated. It's annoying. It's annoying. Don't be results orientated. Sometimes you're gonna look dumb, but that doesn't mean that long term that trade is losing money. Alright, rant done. I'll go ahead and end that rant. The point is, man, trust your system, and that's why I don't post my losses on Twitter, because then you got people trying to like tell you what you did wrong, and you got people trying to tell you what you need to change. It's like, I already know what I did wrong on the BTX trades. I'm not changing a damn thing on UUU because I think it was a damn good trade, and I just don't want to, too much noise. Just too much noise when I post my losses, and it just puts me in a bad negative mindset when I see it. So I don't, so that being said, I'm actually annoyed just seeing this on my feed. So look, I posted this to show people I screw up big all the time, but now I don't want to see it, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete it because I don't want to see that negativity going forward. It's just, I'm over it. I'm done with it. So I get rid of it. I wipe it clean, and going into next week, I won't even remember any of these trades happened or existed. It's just, I keep it fresh. I come just showing up completely fresh and new every day that I trade, and take it one day at a time. And looking in the past doesn't help me. Looking at bad trades like that just really doesn't help me. So I get rid of them. And yeah, I think that's going to recap for the month. It's just, obviously a frustrating month, and you can definitely see just from my demeanor and kind of the emotions coming out of me right now. You can definitely see it's just a frustrating month where, struggled to get things going in the beginning of the month, and then when things got really hot near the end, I felt like I undercapitalized. So, a great month, there's no doubt about it. But I gotta also be real with myself. I'm trying to be the best version of myself. Yeah, $130,000 or whatever I made is a good month. It's a great month, amazing. But I know I can push the limits of what's possible. I know I can turn that into a $500,000 month. I know I can. I know I can. I know I'm close. It just is going to take a bit more discipline, a bit more embracing the variance, right? Embracing the randomness, and that's what following a plan is. You're embracing the randomness. So yeah, what I'm finding is that as I continue on this journey, I'm actually sacrificing consistency for bigger green months overall because I'm embracing the variance, and yeah, sometimes I'm gonna lose. I'm having more red days lately, but my green days are a lot bigger, and following my plans more often, right? So that's more variance. It's better though. It's better. And it amazes me that, you know, it's just the mistakes that I made on Friday, the opportunity cost. I must have cost myself 30,000 in profits that I should have nailed if I had just followed my plans. You know, so it just amazes me that I still had a $29,000 green day. Just really gets my mind clicking. Like, wow, there's so much more potential that I can achieve. I just need to get it together. I just need to focus and just follow my plans always. Always. It's hard though, it's a hard thing to emotions are like part of being human, right? So how do you show up and get rid of those emotions? It takes practice, and I get better every day at it, so just gotta keep trying. Just keep trying, give it my all, try my best. So, yeah. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.